Now, the Z factor says in the beginning, you should give 25% of your energy and your time in this 5, and then as your business matures, things will change. You understand what I'm saying? So what it means you need the right kind of people to drive the right kind of processes, to reach the right kind of clients, and to produce the right kind of profit. And once your business is profitable, it will impact society positively. Does it make sense? Now, let's first deal with this factor of the people. Now, some of you started the business yourself. Now, one of the challenges about entrepreneurs, I've also been in that space in my life where I fall in love with my own idea. Do you understand what I mean? Where you have an illusion that you're the only person who can do this thing. And that stops you from growing. So you hire other people, but you don't trust them. Because this is my business. I'm calling you one business. And when I bring people, one of the things that I say to people, especially in the black society, when people work, they say they're being robbed. When they have a business, they say people are stealing from them. It's a funny thing, isn't it? I work, I'm thinking, bank robber, they don't pay me enough. Now I have my own business, I suspect everybody's stealing from me. So when it comes to people, you've got to consistently ask yourself, do I have the right kind of people doing the right kind of job? Right kind of people is important, and the only way you get the right kind of people is to use assessment tools to assess people before they get into your business. Now, we grow up in a society where we like friends, cousins. No, I'm going to fetch my cousin. No, we grew up together, the Sokolo Songi, Your great friend or your great cousin might be the worst thing that you ever bring into your business. And it's important for you to assess the people that come into your business and understand what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and what is it that they can bring as value into your business. And where are they weak, where you should not even let them to whatever process. Does it make sense? And there are many, many, many assessments. One of the assessments that I'm going to suggest that you take, because here's another funny thing. Some of you might be in the wrong business. Maybe you're not supposed to be in the spa business. I don't know. Do you know? Maybe you're not supposed to be in the hair business. You're supposed to be a model for hair business. We'll never know. You understand? Now, there's a friend of mine called Roger Hamilton. He's a very great guy. He's coming to Johannesburg in December. If you've got time, go and listen to him. Now, the Chinese, each time we go to the word Chinese, it's a bit of a revelation. But the funny thing is, we as Africans have had the same kind of solid background that was just been destroyed by other people. So the Chinese, about 8,000 years ago, now I don't know how old planet Earth is. So when people say 8,000 years ago, who am I to disagree with them? I'm just a guy from Tembisa, And some others, they say we've been around for 34 million years. Who am I to say no? And they all have reasons, by the way. Science and this and all, humidity and all kind of things. Now the Chinese tell us, and well, we have to believe the Chinese. Who are we to say no to the Chinese? The Chinese wrote a book 8,000 years ago called the I Ching. Now the I Ching, it's called the Book of Change. Okay. Now the inspiration for this book was born out of a very simple philosophy, where the Chinese people realized that humanity mimics nature. Okay? So who we are is exactly directly correlated to what nature is. So they realized that there are some people that are water people. So they mimic water. And what does water do? Water moves, water flows, water does kind of things, okay? They realized that there are some other people who are fire people. Like I'm a fire person, very inspirational, very, fire person. And they realized that there are people who are earth people. This kind of people that are cool, they never get offended. Just, they don't like noise. Very grounded, very solid, those kind of people. And then they realize that the other people who are like air, they mimic air. It's either they're all over or you don't see them coming. So it depends on what interpretation of air do you use. All right? And then the list went on and on. And they then said to themselves, if we can identify people's strengths and their nature based on the association which what we believe is their mimic of nature, then we'll be able to put people in the right kind of places and use their strength based on their natural affinity and ability. Does it make sense? Yes.
The lighthouse.
Yes. The Roger Hamilton concept.
Lighthouse.
Yeah. So, and then what happened is, as the year grew and 8,000 years, whatever, some Europeans came across this knowledge. One of the first guys was Carl Jung. How many of you know Carl Jung? He's a top psychologist, wrote books, very powerful guy. He then came with personality profiling, started to introvert, extrovert, sensory person, intuiting person, and that's when it happens. Then came Myers-Briggs, then came a whole lot of assessments. And what these assessments do, they help people to understand their character so that they are placed in a place where their character is suitable. Does it make sense? If somebody is a very quiet person, we cannot put that person in front of people. Quiet people are people who work in the background. They don't like to work in front of people. So one of the challenges that a lot of businesses have is because they don't use assessments to hire people, they usually misplace people. You go to a Kentucky, you find this lady's like, it's like she hates it, but she's there. You understand? And when you come and buy, it's like you're interfering with her life. Like she's got other big issues to deal with. They're a receptionist and they talk about umuvango. You are there. You want to come and buy, but they think you're coming there interferes with their lives. So they're not supposed to be there. Now, based on this, my good friend Roger Hamilton then came with what's called wealth dynamics. Okay? Now, I suggest, guys, you go to this website, wealthdynamics.com. It will cost you $98. That's about $1,000, whatever. I suggest you do this assessment. This assessment might save you the rest of your life. Okay? Now, what this assessment does, it will give you your wealth profile. And your wealth profile will tell you the manner in which you are going to be able to create sustainable wealth. Does it make sense? So therefore, once you find your wealth profile, you get into this beautiful thing called flow. Because once you know who you are and you do what is within your character, things become easy and seamless, and therefore you get into this place we call flow. Does it make sense? So when you do your people strategy, whoever that you want to hire, make sure there are a lot of personality assessments. There's one called DISC. This one you can get free online. Just go online and go www.disc.com. This one you can get free online. But the one that for me is very, very important is wealth dynamics, especially if you are starting a business because you want to start on the right foot with the right kind of people. Because if you start with the wrong people, it will take you longer, or they'll destroy your business overnight just like that. Does it make sense? Now, when you understand your wealth profile and the people that you're working with, you are able to place people according to their strengths. Does it make sense? So wealth dynamics will teach you how different people have created wealth. Oprah Winfrey is what's called a star. How does Oprah make money? She makes money because she's Oprah. She's got a very powerful brand that people resonate with, that people believe, and she's a billionaire based on her brand. Does it make sense? And other people are creators. I'm a creator. They create things. Other people are what you call mechanics. They work behind the scene. You don't even know who these people are. How many of you know a guy called Steve Wozniak? Most of you don't know, but he was the second in command with Steve Jobs when they started Apple. They started Apple, both of them. But Steve Wozniak is the guy behind the scene. Steve Jobs was the guy in front of the scene. Does it make sense? How many of you know a guy called Paul Allen? Paul Allen was the second in command from Bill Gates. So you guys know Bill Gates? There was a guy smarter than Bill Gates. Behind the scene, helping him to build Microsoft. You guys don't know this kind of person. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody will create wealth based on their wealth profile. Because if you're doing something which is contrary to your character, you're going to suffer. It's going to become a painful journey. And eventually you're going to give up. Because you are now pushing against it's like pushing against the wall. And the wall pushes back. Equal force back. Equal force back. But if there's nothing that is stopping you, the flow begins to happen. Does it make sense? So the first thing that you're going to do is, who are the people that I need in my business? Where do I find these people? And once I find them, one of the things that is happening in the big corporates, they talk about talent management. Now, unfortunately, people just use these things as rhetorics. They don't really make them work. So they say, we're going to go and search for the talented people. We're going to bring them in a work environment, but we're going to stifle them. You bring somebody, you bring him there, but you want him to work in a box. Talented people don't work in boxes. Talented people like freedom. Now, one of the things that I teach a lot of corporates is what we call talent liberation. Bring the talent inside your business, but liberate them. Let them be able to do what they do best. And don't put them in a box. If you put them in a box, they're going to leave. Does it make sense? So the same with you. Whoever that you bring in your business, you must understand that there are some things that this person can do that you cannot do. Now, most entrepreneurs, because they are too married to the concept of their own business, they want to become the HR manager, they want to become the general manager, they want to take the stock, they want to become the accountant, you want to become everything. Now, I'm going to teach you a concept which is called, what we say to people, we say, there are people that you don't need in your business, but you want. Does it make sense? And the people that you want in your business, be able to go and make a deal with somebody that has them, then you can reciprocate your skill with that company skill, and they can borrow you this person for a time to do a specific project for you, and the person can go back. Does it make sense? Because one of the things, and I've read some of the questions that you ask, some of you want to buy machinery. Who wants to buy machinery? Somebody asked about buying a machine to do whatever. We'll go to the questions. Now, not all of you have to own physical infrastructures to run your business. It's like you, ma'am, doing your product. There's a company out there that does product that doesn't run in capacity. You can go and buy productive time from them. You can say, my product needs 7 days. All I need is 7 days of your production line per month.
Yeah, actually I use the contract manufacturer.
You understand what I'm trying to say? And a lot of people fail because they say, oh, I don't have capital to buy machines, I don't have capital to have a storehouse. No, you don't all need physical environment. Nowadays, we can collaborate and make sure that our things happen as long as they are contract signed, patents are in order, and all those kind of things. Does it make sense? So for me, this is the crucial part of any business. You are the person that funded the business, but understand that you might not be the person suitable enough to take it to market. And be okay with it. Don't be too married to it. Because you guys want to become famous. I don't want to become famous, I want to be wealthy. Because most famous people are not wealthy. You understand? So don't be too married to be seen in the newspaper. You are the one that gets interviewed. No, as long as the bank account goes kitching, I'm cool. Does it make sense? So the first thing is your people. The second thing is your process. Now, process simply says, what is the beginning in your business? Either a call comes in or you call out. Then what happens up until money is in the bank? You understand what I'm saying? And by the way, a lot of people, they like to sell. I don't like selling. I like farming. It means I want to sell to the same person for a longer period of time than to sell to new people all the time. Because to sell to a new person costs you 16 times more than to sell to the same person. So I believe in farming. I believe in selling people seasonally. In winter, I'm going to do this for you. In summer, I'm going to do this. In autumn and in spring. And that might mean certain times of your business life. Some businesses, I work with them and I say, for the next 3 years, you don't need me. And then I tell them who they can work with. Or I say, focus on doing things, but I know that when they get to a certain level, in 3 years' time, they might need me. Does it make sense? So I don't like going out and selling to new people all the time. This is hard work. You do this hard work once, and then you continue, then you farm.